Conflict has historically brought this nation together. You see what happened after 9/11. That was a domestic tragedy, and America was unified. But I think people are seeing with this new elevated threats to the U.S., and I think they're waking up a little bit. Thankfully, unfortunately, it took a crisis to get here. The silver lining to any tragedy is a stone-cold reality check. We have it so good here in America that most people, they've become completely complacent. The terrors of the world just aren't real to them. I mean, if you think about it, you have an entire generation of kids now in the workforce that weren't even alive when 9/11 happened. This is the perfect time to have an honest debate about what works and what doesn't work. That's because it's unfortunate, the two political parties live in entirely different realities right now. The debate of whose reality we need to live in shouldn't be a conversation, but unfortunately it does. And this is not an attempt to bash Democrats, which I normally do, but this is an attempt to help them understand that none of their policies work. What they sell as passion to their voters is, in fact, passion for people that we don't owe anything to. And it sacrifices our own safety, our own security, and even our economic prosperity at the altar of political correctness. Democrats are reflectively against anything Republicans do or say because they suffer some weird case of Trump derangement syndrome. That's what it is. That they're almost incapable of having a rational policy discussion. This is exactly why all of the Democrats voted to oust Kevin McCarthy. Not because they agreed with Matt Gaetz, they never agree with Matt Gaetz, but because they will literally vote for anything to hurt Republicans, even if it involves hurting you. But in light of everything going on the world stage right now, this is a perfect time to discuss things that work and things that don't. We got to adjust course based on that. Every policy going forward, and I shouldn't have to say this, but here I am, must consider America and our citizens before anything or anyone else. Then we can start worrying about our allies, and then, and only then, can we start worrying about all the other nonsense in the world or the partisan BS or whatever else you want to. There was a guy who once said, "Make America great again." That time is now because we are looking down the barrel of a gun from a lot of countries that hate us. This is the foremost reason to close our borders. There's not one logical argument you can make on open borders that helps Americans. There just isn't. Meanwhile, the FBI and the CIA, they sat around a table this week like, they're wondering why they missed the intelligence on Israel and how they didn't know it was going to be attacked. Well, I know how. Maybe it's because you had 2/3 of your resources monitoring Trump supporters instead of actual terrorists. Here's an idea for those three-letter agencies. How about you track down every single person that came into our country illegally and either get them the hell out of here or at a very minimum, make sure they aren't a bad guy. Also, if we want to stay the global currency, we got to stop spending money we don't have. I'm going to get to that in a second, but while we're at it, maybe teach our kids skills in school that will make us competitive on the global stage instead of cross-dressing and eating Tide Pods. A degree in lesbian dance theory does not help us build a missile defense system against Russia. Like, I'm not an isolationist, but we need to make sure America can sustain being cut off from the rest of the world. This includes oil. It not only ensures our security, but if we can make our goods here, it makes every other country have to compete with us to bring theirs here. That's a good thing because in the real world, not everybody gets a trophy. And this is my biggest caution, this Israel-Hamas conflict. Like, I've been very clear about supporting Israel, but every time there is a war, there is a surge in support for the government to do something. What that something is questionable. In D.C., please listen to me on this one. Spending money is not a metric of success. Results are an actual metric of success. Do not make the same mistakes we made in Ukraine, where we measured how much money we gave them as our success rate. It's not a thing. And it's certainly not accountable for the American taxpayers. And it's not how you win wars. If we're not careful in how we allocate this war, we're going to have the same scenario we have right now all over again. What's that scenario? Well, check this out. American taxpayer dollars paid for weapons that we left in Afghanistan, and then we trade the merchant of death for a basketball player. We have pallets of cash that Obama gave Iran, the $6 billion frozen, unfrozen, whatever, it's there, the aid to Palestine that Joe Biden freed up. I know this is unpopular to admit, but they're all taxpayer dollars that have gone to support this conflict on both sides. And now, to neutralize that bad policy, we have to spend more taxpayer dollars, more American resources, and possibly more American lives to fix it. It's just we never take any of these lessons. Just like the Cold War, where we armed the Taliban in Afghanistan to fight off the Russians. It was a proxy war, and a lot of those armaments were used decades later against our troops during the 20 years that we were there. Let's never make these mistakes again. Congress, you have American support now. Granted, you were at like 18% approval rating before this, so the bar's pretty much on the floor. But that said, do not use this conflict to hide a bunch of random stuff at the bottom of a budget that you need to pass in the next 30 days to keep the government from shutting down. Here's what I want. I want for Congress, for you in D.C., to spend money as if it was coming out of your pocket. I don't want some blanket billion-dollar contract with a consulting firm like Booz Allen for advice. We have plenty of war-hardened military members that'll give it to you for free. If you intend to allocate troops, I want you to think about whether or not you would send your own son or daughter. That's the gravity I expect from those elected to lead my country. This is not a time to mess around. And if you think I'm blowing smoke, look around you. We have police ramping up security all over the country. All of New York City's cops are called in tomorrow. A tank of gas costs twice as much as it used to. You have China, Russia, and now, as of today, 3 different terrorist factions calling for a global jihad. It's that bad. So let's put America back on top.